All right, we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew? It's just me right now. B might join us, or he might be sleeping. I spoke to him about 20 minutes ago. Uh, we agreed to do a live stream, but I haven't heard from him since. So I fear that he may have fallen asleep. Look, it's late, okay, and we're not going to be here late because I got to get up early in the morning for work, okay. But hey, Hendo, what's going on? Shout out to Hendo from the Roll Pod. Yo, look, you guys are happy. Okay. You're excited. The Ravens put a beat down on the Buffalo Bills. Okay. Uh, I picked the Bills to win. I think not the Bills. I'm sorry. I picked the Ravens to win. B picked the Bills to win. Um, you know, these type of games don't surprise me. Losses don't surprise me. It's all about whether or not Harbaugh is going to have the team ready. I picked the Ravens to win this game because I felt like this was still a must-win game for the Ravens. Okay, the way we won last week left little to be desired. I think there was still a lot of eyes lasered, focused in on Harbaugh to see what the team was going to do this week. And I think this is something that he felt a little pressure on, and it's a Sunday night game. So whenever Harbaugh feels the pressure, he's going to put forth his best effort. And that's exactly what happened tonight. The team executed much better. There was a little moment where I felt like we were going to go full Harbaugh again in the third quarter. We came out flat-footed, 3-and-out, gave up a big play, touchdown, then another 3-and-out, and I said, "Here we go." But to their credit, they pulled it together. So salute to them. Oh, and there's B. What's going on? I changed the scenes, B. I'm not sure if you have to change it back to the other scene. If I add you, let me see. No, it worked.
Yeah, we're
There
just
he
in
is.
the regular scene. What's going on?
What's going on? So I was just telling them how I'm glad that we didn't go full Harbaugh tonight. Okay. And I'm just reading some comments here. Hendo, I was asking if you wanted to come on. I mean, look, it's late, but Hendo did a stream yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah.
And he was talking about some Bills fans that or some Bill YouTuber or whatever that was talking a little trash, and it upset my boy a little bit. Okay, so I was like, hey, you want to come on here and pop your collar a little bit, but you got your own channel. You know what I'm saying? You're doing big things over there. I'm sure you're gonna send some shots that way, but it didn't bother me. Like I said this last year, I think. Teams like that, fans of teams like that, they do that trash talking because they're scared, because they're nervous, right? They know that they're facing a tough team. We're one of those teams. It's us, Bills, and Chiefs. Those are the three teams that you have to really look at in the AFC to win a Super Bowl. So they're facing us, and they're a little nervous, and they know, hey, man, we have our flaws over here, and can we do it? Right? I told you guys about the Bills. I like them. I like Josh Allen. I just don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. This has been the Bills' MO. What did that guy say? He said the Ravens aren't the Ravens anymore. He said something like that to the effect. The Ravens aren't the Ravens anymore. But the Bills have always been the Bills. This has always been the Bills.
Yeah.
Even from the Jim Kelly days. Lots of very good teams, championship caliber teams. They just don't do it. What's going on, Jeremy Miller? Thanks for coming through. Let me give some shout outs to the chat here. Agnes is in the house, says Jose. They ate well tonight. Yes, indeed. Killer Camp says Hola, Jose. He didn't say mucho gusto, Brodny, because you weren't here yet.
He
But I
did
feel
say
like
it's over there. It's in there.
Well, I'm about to say, yeah, I'm about to say. If I scroll down a little bit, he probably showed you some love. Davon's in the house. What's going on, Davon? Thanks for coming through. Ravens talk with Yolanda. What's going on, Yolanda? I saw
What's
you
up,
gave
Yolanda?
a halftime little halftime roundup. Salute to you. Go over there and subscribe over there. Big Reg is in the house. What's going on? Says what's good, everybody. We got Dr. Dre Mason, DPM, says we should have scored 70. Yeah, look, we could have. We left some points out there. That's for sure. All right. We got just Aloe in the house. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. Danity's in the house. Salute to Danity. Says, welcome everyone to the stream. Hit the like and subscribe button as you enter. Cash App, $ LBHTShow. Yes, that and also the pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Streamlabs page. That's how we do our super chat over here if you're looking for the super chat button. Either way, you can leave your donation, leave your comment, and we get a nice little animation on the screen, and we'll read your comment on air. Hasten Chris, what's going on? Says Harbaugh is a Manchurian candidate. What was up with that timeout? Okay, all right. We're going to talk about that because I feel like we won in spite of Harbaugh down the stretch. I don't think he did anything good in that second half, right? But we just, Lamar just he toughed through it. Let's put it that way. Be the change you wish to see, says got to get the play action going steady. Yeah. Okay, man, a lot of people in here. All right, I'm gonna give a speed round of shout out. Spooky J's in the house. Salute. Dot Connector. Salute to you. DDSQ. Salute, my brother. Salute. 33 Lady Ram. Salute. Says you are 1,000% correct. Appreciate that. Julian's in the house. Shout out to you. Kefla, what's going on? Is Henry washed? So I'm going to correct you in Rave Kingdom because Rave Kingdom called me out on Coach's stream. We didn't say he was completely washed. We said we don't know what we're going to get from him. He's 30 years old. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? He's still 30 years old. Because I didn't hear this. I didn't hear people pumping their chest the first 3 weeks. Even last week. I mean, he had a good game last week, but I didn't hear anybody say Henry was back. Right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, no, like, it doesn't surprise me that he can have games like this. Our concern is the latter half and going into the playoffs. What is he going to give us? I'm glad he had a night like this. I hope he does this every week, right? But, I didn't hear this enthusiasm definitely not the first 2 weeks, right? So, just
and look,
he's
looked good. He had really good games the last 2 weeks. But you were also playing the Dallas run defense last week and a team this week that was missing all of their starting linebackers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's still a great, performance.
That's fine. But like that has to factor into what you're saying that he's doing, right? Because we weren't out. Like you said, we weren't out here saying, "Oh man, it's King Henry" when he had the 46 yards in week 1 and you lost, right? Because you were playing a much better defense, the game went differently and all that kind of stuff. Like when you can go out there and you can get a lead and the defense actually shows up like they did tonight, they played great, then yes, you can keep on pounding the ball and you can rack up stats and it's going to look great and it's going to look easy. Yeah. When you go out there and you play somebody who can score on you, it's not going to look that way. But
right, well,
because this was the ideal version of the Ravens tonight, right? They went out, they got the lead on the first play, their first play, and Buffalo wasn't able to take advantage of their pass defense for most of the game, even when they threatened to try to get back into it when it was 21-3, I believe it was, and they scored the touchdown, got the ball back. Baltimore's defense showed up, forced a turnover when they needed them to do it. Right. Yes. And they were able to pull away from there. But again, it's about what is going to happen when that's not the case.
Well, okay. I'm going to give them credit for tonight, right? Because I always get on them. And again, our criticisms they've never been about Derrick Henry. I don't think you can find a stream. I know you can't find a stream where we were criticizing Derrick Henry for anything, right? It's always been about the front office and the coaching staff. My thing about them is them not playing to their so-called identity. Okay. We don't commit to the run typically. Right. And when we don't commit to the run, that's when we get into all kinds of trouble because we don't have that talent out there in the wide receiver core. We don't have a very good O-line to pass protect, and we get away from the game. My thing has always been, if you're going to be a run team, then run the ball. I don't care if you get down in the game. That's supposed to be your strength. Then use it, and that's what they did tonight. Breaking off of that 87-yard run, touchdown run, was huge because
Mm-hmm.
you got to run the ball. You shell shocked them. They did not expect that, and from that point on, all they could think about was stopping him, right? Stopping Derrick Henry and nothing else. That I think they got taken off of their game plan a little bit, which is
Mm-hmm.
good. That's what we want. And like B said, the defense stepped up. So those are the things I want to see every week. But we all know Harbaugh isn't consistent. All Harbaugh did tonight is what he's been doing for 14 years, right? He steps it up for the big games, or when he feels like there's some pressure on him. The team performs. When we're playing the Raiders, you know, we can't do anything out there. We can't
Yeah.
run, we can't pass, we can't do anything, right? How are we going to look when we play the Browns? How are we going to look when we play, the Jaguars or whoever? That's what I'm worried about. That's what I want to see from the team. But tonight, look, they look great. I'm glad they won, and you know, shout out to those Bills fans that were talking trash.
Yeah, let's see a comment in here. Let me see if I can find it here.
99 people in
Uh,
here. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit the subscribe button.
oh,
We trying to
from
make some
my
moves out here.
guy Noah saying feels
Hey,
like Lamar has taken control of the ship,
yeah,
and I agree with that. And that should be a great feeling for Ravens fans because it does kind of feel like he's stepping up and saying, listen, it's time for me to take control of this team. Harbaugh's not necessarily shade at Harbaugh, but he's like, we give away leads, we get conservative, we can't do that. Right. And he's trying to kind of take control and say, hey, we need to stay focused. We need to keep our foot on the gas. We need to keep on moving the ball. We need to keep on putting points on the board and make sure these teams can't get back in the game.
yeah. And that's what he did tonight. I'm not gonna lie. That third quarter, I felt like it was gonna happen, right? Lamar fumbled the ball when we were about to go up 28-3, and I was like, that sucks. But went to the halftime, 21-3, and it's the same thing I said last week, right? And really the week, the first week, I've been saying that every week almost, going into the second half, that the Ravens had to feel that sense of urgency because the
Mm-hmm.
other team seems to do it. We didn't do it in the second half against the Chiefs, right? I said to be the Chiefs are going to come out in the second half on our first drive, and they're going to try to score because that's a big drive, right? If we can at least hold them to 3 points, that changes the game. But we gave up a touchdown, right? Um, Same thing with the Cowboys. I'm like, we got to come out in the second half. We got to score, and they did score. But then they ain't do anything else after that. But it was the same thing tonight. I'm like, they have to come out in that second half, get that touchdown so they can go up 20-3 and keep it going. Because you go down 23 and we took time off the clock. Now they're completely abandoning the run. They're not even going to try to run the ball, right? And that's where you can get Josh Allen into all kinds of trouble. But we didn't. Went 3-and-out. Defense almost got back for us, and then Eddie Jackson gave up that big play, and that led to a touchdown. And I was like, here we go. We get the ball back, another 3-and-out, and it's just like, Harbaugh. I don't see Harbaugh saying anything or making any adjustments, but I see Lamar, going up to O-line and say, hey, no, don't worry, we got it. We'll take care of it. And to their credit, they did it. But I think they did that in spite of John Harbaugh.
Yeah. Again, this is a great game tonight, but you still see kind of the cracks in Baltimore or where they would have trouble. I mean, one catch for Zay Flowers, I believe one catch for Rashad Bateman as well. They both had
Yeah.
big drops in this game.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing that if you're not playing a Buffalo team that honestly doesn't look like they really showed up, those are the kind of things that come back to haunt you. Josh Allen didn't have a good game. He made that one amazing throw
But that's
on the
credit
sideline, right?
credit to the defense, credit to Zach Orr.
Well, for
They made it.
sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But some of that is on Josh as well. Like that, the fumble that was 100% on Josh. because
Yeah.
you're running that. I don't even know what you were attempting to accomplish there, but the guy pitches the ball. He's getting hit as he pitches the ball. Josh Allen gets it. You know the defender's right there. Don't even attempt to throw that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you just have to eat that. But you know, he just. I mean, he made a really stupid play, honestly.
Well, I think what I think you're gonna see more of that from Josh Allen. And again, y'all know I like Josh Allen. This ain't no shade to him. I think you're gonna see more of that throughout the season. Here's why. First 3 weeks, they started out hot. Who did they play? They played Arizona, who isn't particularly good, and they started
Mm-hmm.
out losing bad in that game. They came back and won that game. They played Miami, who they weren't really good even before Tua went down, and Tua did go down, and then they played the Jaguars, who were just god awful, right? And he's played some of his best football to date. But this week, when you're playing a tougher team and you need guys to really step up, this is where you miss somebody like Stephon Diggs, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Keon Coleman did a good job in the second half. The first half, he dropped a couple himself.
Yeah.
But he did better in the second half. But this is where you miss somebody like Diggs, where he can scramble around, throw the ball up, and he'll come down with it.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't that guy on this team, on this Bills team. So I think he felt like he had to do a little bit more because they got down and he doesn't have that guy, and that's where those mistakes happen. Because even other than that fumble, that play where Owe got the sack, he ran it down and got the sack. Like he broke out of the tackle for
But
Marlon
yeah,
Humphrey.
that was just a stupid play, right?
Yeah, that's what
Because
I'm saying.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Like he's trying to
came
extend the
free.
play.
He came free on the blitz. You got away from him. Throw the ball away.
Yep.
Throw the ball away. Danny's saying the refs refused to throw any flags for Owe getting choke slammed every play. Well, they're probably looking at him and saying, "Stop getting choke slammed, young man." All right,
did he
we don't throw
smile at him
flags for
again?
that.
Remember last week he said they were just smiling at him when he
Right.
he was asked about the penalty. It's a conspiracy against Owe. Dave, what's going on? Says our guys bullied that Bills O line all night.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, the defense played great. The defense was outstanding tonight. All the way through top to bottom. There's a play here and there, but you gave up 10 points to one of the hottest teams in the league. Like I said, you forced a turnover when you had to have a stop. They got to Josh. They were harassing Josh all night. So it was a fantastic game for the defense. It was a great game for the O-line as well. Lamar got sacked once, lost a yard. And when you have this kind of an O-line that is not great in pass protection, yes, it's ideal to limit the number of pass attempts when you can. And they've been able to do that the last couple of weeks. And I love the distribution of carries there as well. 24 for Henry, 6 for Lamar is what it should be looking like every week.
Yeah.
Right. And shout out to Justice Hill as well. Justice Hill has been playing fantastic all season long in the run and pass game. They had everything clicking tonight.
I'm very happy for Justice Hill, man. He's come a long way.
Yeah.
Like he looks like a completely different player this year than he has from any of the other years. I feel like he is starting to come together for him now. He understands what he needs to do out there. And also, I think Tom Monken's putting him in better positions to be the type of player that he needs to be. Some big third down conversions from him.
Yeah.
Some, like really extending the drives.
And again, that's the only criticism that I have of the team right now is that like he shouldn't be your leading receiver. Like the two running backs, Henry and Hill, had 9 catches tonight. You completed 14 passes with Josh Johnson.
Yeah.
So they had the overwhelming majority of the receptions, and I don't think that's not a winning formula when you get to playoff time. But we're far from playoff time right now, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. What's up, Josh? He says, "Oh, Justice Hill with those spin moves and break tackles was a crazy highlight. I hope people remember that one. That one that he juked the guy to get into the end zone, I thought was great. That was a great move. Danny says, always like Justice Hill. Tom Monken is using him very effectively. Yeah, Tom Monken, I think he's doing a good job so far. When I'm criticizing our coordinators less and less because when we have these mental lapses, we know where it comes from. It comes from the head coach. I want to talk about that timeout that turned into a penalty. Okay, speaking of our head coach, that was that after our 2 and outs? Or was that during our second? Not 2 and outs, 3 and outs. Was that during our second 3 and out? I can't. It was around that time, but we called a
That I don't
timeout.
know. I'm not 100% sure on that.
We had them in fourth down. We had them in fourth down, 4th and 2, and it was after Marlowe got hurt, and we had to use our timeout for an injury, and then we're coming out the timeout, and he wants to call timeout, and of course he gets a penalty because you can't do that, and it's like, you didn't know that? All the years you've been coaching, I can understand if it was a younger coach, second year coach, something like that. You've been coaching this game for a long time. You didn't know you couldn't do that? I don't care if Monken or whoever told you to call timeout there, right? It wouldn't be Monken, it'd be Zach Orr. If Zach Orr says, "Oh, I need timeout," or got the wrong package out there, you can't call timeout. So, telling you, I'm glad this game was a blowout. If this game was closer, we having another conversation. But look, the Ravens got a win. It was a great win. It was a statement win. We needed that to not just to get back in the AFC North race, but to build some confidence on that team, because first 2 weeks we're looking great. First 3 weeks we're looking great. Even after that win last week, there's still a lot to be desired.
Last week's win was not that was not a great win. You needed it, and they got it. But tonight was a great win for Baltimore, both in how they performed and who it was against. And I sort of feel sorry for Bills fans. I do, because Josh Allen plays great a lot of times, right? He goes out there, he puts that team on his back. He's sort of Lamar-esque in that way, that he does a lot of the heavy lifting for that team, passing the ball, obviously, and then also running it. And they scream, they support him, they scream from the rafters that he's the real MVP. And he runs into Lamar, and it's just clear that he's not. Right? And I don't know. I mean, if I were a Bills fan, I would feel hurt from this game. But
yeah, it's deflating. And this goes with what I was saying on Wednesday. This is no hate towards the Bills, right? Didn't I tell you I've watched them the last 3 years do this?
But they normally don't fade like this early in the season.
No, not this early.
Not like that. They don't have performances like that early in the season. They just got beat tonight. Normally, they're like, hey, we're the best team in the league. We're the best team in the league. Hey, look at us. Hey, look at us. And then you get to week 14, and they're like, stop looking at me, bro. Like, will you just leave us alone for a minute? We're trying to work some things out. Stop looking at me, and then they're out.
Yeah. What's going on? Kogan says, "B, sorry about your Panthers." Yeah, let's talk about the Panthers real quick.
Don't be sorry about that, man. Like, that was it wasn't a good game, obviously. Like, the defense is just not there, right?
Okay.
They had some injuries. One of their starting guards was out. Obviously, Adam Thielen is out. Shaq Thompson went out during the game. But the big one, Derrick Brown, in the middle of that D-line. And they can't stop the run. So,
all that being said, they shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
they still should have won that game.
It was still defensively, though, right? It was that last drive,
not scoring on our first drive, not getting that touchdown, the goal line. That was big, and then the interception, right, where they got touchdown off of it.
But I think the real issue with the game, and where they lost it, was the end of the second quarter, where they scored to tie the game. Cincinnati gets the ball back. Not a whole lot of time left. They let them go down the field, and they scored a touchdown with 1 second left. And then they got the ball first, and they scored again.
Yes.
And so they put, it was a 14-point game at that point. And Carolina's, they're not built for anything, but they're not built to come back, right? From multiple
But
scores.
they battled.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they battle. Yeah, it was that pass interference call that got them down there right before the halftime. So I mean, like I said, it mistakes that they could have avoided that
Mhm.
could have turned out a different outcome. But they look a lot different than they did week one.
They're yeah. Somebody in the chat said they're an NFL team, right?
Yes.
Now they weren't before.
Yeah.
Uh, Andy Dalton, I'm not gonna say he's playing great. He's playing well. Xavier Leggett, he's looking good. He looked good today. Um, Deontay Johnson played pretty. I mean, he had a couple drops. They Leggett did as well. But they played pretty well. I think they're going to look even better in the coming weeks when they get Jonathan Brooks back, who was their
Mm-hmm.
second round pick out of Texas, the running back. Hubbard is a capable back, but he's not anything special. And I think that Jonathan Brooks does have the potential to be that kind of a foundational player for the offense. And hopefully they get Jatavian Sanders and more involved on offense. Uh, get Leggett more involved, get Mingo the ball, try and get him going a bit.
Yeah.
But Deontay Johnson is there, and he's playing well now that we have a quarterback who can get the ball to him downfield.
Well, that's the other thing too. Mingo had a couple of drops. Leggett had a couple of drops
Mhm.
that could have extended some of those drives too. But they're young, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Deontay Johnson got hurt, right? Didn't he go out the game?
Deontay did, but he came back.
Okay.
He came back in.
Yeah. Yeah. That was tough. Keelan, what's going on? Says also you saw tonight what an elite player at running back looks like next to Lamar. When the end of November, December, and January hits, folks will not want to see the Ravens because of Henry. That's what I'm hoping. That's the big question mark, right? With him doing it this early in the season, I expect that. Later on in the season is I'm waiting to see, right?
And it's cool to say that, and yes, that's the hope. But I mean, you still have to have more, right? Like let's not act like Derrick Henry is coming in here with championship rings on his fingers, right?
Here's the yeah. Here's the thing. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Hmm?
How many carries did he have tonight?
24 and
Tw-
a couple 3 catches.
and I think he had around that much last week. That's not what this coaching staff wants for Derrick Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Harbaugh told you that a couple weeks ago after the first week against the Chiefs. He got 13 carries, and they're like, yeah, we're not trying to give him 30 carries a game. Translation, we don't want to give him more than 15 carries a game.
Yeah.
Right? They want to keep him fresh. But you lose 2 in a row. You can't lose 3 in a row. I guess we better give him the ball. And yes, he's looking good. He's fresh right now. But at what cost?
And last year in Tennessee, he was down to 16 carries a game, right?
Yeah.
And he did well with those, relatively well with those 16 carries. But yeah, that's kind of what they're envisioning for him because they're thinking about much later in the season him potentially being worn down. Now, the good news for Baltimore potentially is that they do have Keaton Mitchell coming back, and that should help alleviate some of that. He showed he's a big player last year, but we don't know how close to 100% he's going to be, but you can add him into the mix with Henry and Justice Hill, and they should still be fine there. But my point is that when you get to the playoffs, you're playing the best teams in the league, the best defenses in the league, the best coaches in the league, and you're going to have a passing game, right?
Yeah.
He's had great games in the playoffs, and then he's also not shown up several times in the playoffs and been eliminated, right? Um, it's going to depend on the path that if they make the playoffs, the path that they have to go through, but it can't just be Derrick Henry.
Yeah. Let's see. Akeem, what's going on? It says lack of legitimate downfield passing game doesn't work in the playoffs. That's true. So we gotta get that going. Josh Hoffman says, man, Keaton Mitchell back would be a problem.
If he comes back and he's close to 100%, I mean, even if he's not, like, he doesn't have to he's not a guy that needs to get 10 plus touches every week. He's an electric player is what he looked like last year, right?
Yeah.
And so they can kind of sprinkle him in and hope he can just contribute a couple of big plays a week.
And what Danity said right here, I think Harbaugh quickly changed his mind because of all the flames burning on his back, calling for his firing. That's it right there. That's it right there. Antonio, my friend Antonio is here. What's going on? Says, what a win. Can't wait till the rest of the playbook is used. Go Ravens. Harbaugh still has to go. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Yes. It's just time for him to go. Okay. It's time for him to go. And yes, like Dandy said, still 100 here in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new here and you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. All right. And come check us out on Wednesday nights. Okay. Right here, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time for the LBHT show. And we follow it up with the overtime show where we talk about anything and everything. Okay. Last week we talked about video games. We talked about movies. All right. We talked about what's our favorite snacks to take, to eat at the movie theater or sneak into the movie theaters. Okay. How many of y'all still go to the movie theaters? I don't go nearly as often as I used to. That was a big conversation we had on the overtime show. What theaters are doing to try to bring people back, and is it going to work or not? Go check it out. It's on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT shows, where you can find that conversation and a whole lot more. All right. For as little as $5 a month, you can check out that stuff and be a part of our Discord. So well worth the price of admission. All right. Josh Hoffman says maybe we get Zach Orr in that EDC heir apparent role soon, as he doesn't blow any leads for a little while. Yeah. So I'm very happy about this win.
What's going on?
What's
Bazel?
up? Hey, Bazel, what's going on? Says finally my chat lets me say hi. What happened to your chat? He's a mod, isn't he? Yeah, you should be able to. I don't know. Nobody blocked you, so welcome. I think he said something about that last week too, that the chat was acting up. I don't know, but no, I mean I was pumped when Derrick Henry got that run. By the way, that was a Ravens record, longest run for a Raven, 87 yards. Needed that, man. We needed to come out with a statement play like that, and for him to take it to the house, really set the tone. I think that right there, that one play completely took the Bills out of their game. Completely took them out of their game because they weren't expecting to give up that big of a run, and they're like, man, we can't let that happen again, and that just affected how they played the rest of the game. James Cook didn't get off at all. I'm not even sure how many carries he got. It felt like they barely used him.
He had like 9 carries.
Yeah. How many targets did he get? He's a big part of their offense. And it felt like he got neutralized just off of falling behind. And that's the thing too. When you have running backs that you rely on, and you fall behind, they don't get used.
Yeah.
We have to. That's why if we're going to be this type of team, and we want to win like this, it's very important to strike first, right? We have to. If we're not going to have a great passing game, we have to make sure that we're holding teams. What are you laughing at?
Danny is so harsh. He said real wide receivers would have caught the balls both Zay and Bateman dropped. I don't know if you were watching that Raiders game, but Devontae Adams got one and hit him right in the chest, and he was going to walk into the end zone, and he dropped it. And there was no defender near him.
I'll say this about those two. I get on Bateman, right? We have more faith in Zay Flowers, but I don't think Bateman is bad. I just don't think he's going to be great. But the two of them are, they don't get. We don't pass the ball nearly enough. Like B said, Devontae Adams he's had bad drops. Every great wide receiver has had bad drops, but those teams throw the ball a lot more. So you don't worry about that. You guys forgot that Devontae Adams had a drop in that game, a touchdown pass dropped, because he caught everything else. He made so many amazing catches. You don't remember, right? When you see those Justin Jefferson highlights, you don't see when he has a bad drop.
Players mess up every once in a while, just not Zay and Bate.
We don't throw the ball enough for them to have a chance to make up for it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the problem. But that's also why you want to have a great player here who can do more with less opportunities.
Right.
And somebody that Lamar has complete faith in. Because I just, I think he has more faith in Zay Flowers, but Bateman, I don't think he has it with him. And if you know you're not going to get that many opportunities, you got to make do with the ones that you get. So,
what's up with your boy Mark Andrews, man?
Well, he blocked well tonight.
He blocked that one pass too.
He
and I hear just rumors about trading him. I'm like, to whom?
Yeah, we can't get anything for him now.
And for what?
Yeah, there's something going on with him, and I don't want to hear. I hear a lot of excuses about, well, he has to block. That's why he's not catching the ball. It's your job to do both, right? That's the tight end's job. You got to block and catch. Okay, he's not doing well, and every week, this is week 4, we're asking the question: is he hurt?
That's rude, Danity.
New name is Mark Boyle.
Says Mark is cooked for sure, but that's the thing, Kev. I'm not 100% sure that's the case. Like he was hurt. We know he was rehabbing. He got into a car accident right before the season. He could just not be 100%, and they just don't want to say because they're the Ravens, right?
I think that's what it is.
Or he could be washed. I don't know. But like, I just the ball hit him right in his hands, and he dropped it, and he was smiling.
No, B. I think that's what it is. Harbaugh, this organization loves, they love hiding injuries. They're not supposed to do it. I believe they've been fined for it before. I think he's hurt, and they don't want to list him on the injury report. And he just goes out there and does whatever he can, because he's not even complaining about not getting targets.
Yeah.
Like the old Mark Andrews would be like, what are you doing? Give me the ball. He's not even complaining.
Yeah, that's true.
He looks like a shell of himself. I don't think he's washed. I just think he's hurt. I think it's one of those things they're going to try to have him play through it. Like Ronnie Stanley last year. He didn't really show up any injury reports, did he?
I don't think so. I think they just said he's because he wasn't technically hurt. He was he's rehabbing from an injury, and I just.
But Harbaugh said he let the cat out of the bag that he was playing through an injury.
Well,
now, what injury? Right? He's like, what? I don't see him on the injury report. I think he said that towards the end of last year that he was battling through it and whatnot. I think Mark is doing the same thing. They gotta stop doing that. If guys aren't healthy, don't put them out there.
Jay, you gotta stop, bro. The Joker smiled before he murked dude on stage. Dude being Robert De Niro, on the verge of a mental breakdown, maybe. Come on, Jay.
What was that? What's he talking about?
In the movie Joker.
Yeah. Well, he didn't.
No, because I said that Mark Andrews dropped the ball and smiled, and he was like, "Well, Joker was smiling before he."
Well, that's not true. That's not true. He smiled afterwards.
Well, yeah.
He
didn't really think it was funny what Robert was saying about him right before that happened.
No. And he speaks some truth too. I was like, yeah, that's a powerful moment. And then he shot me. I was like, oh, well. You kind of lost me. Everything except that.
Kind of lost me with that one, but that's okay.
Andrews has never been a clutch receiver. He's stiff. Okay, Slippery Pete. Thanks for coming through. Says cut Mark overrated. Andrew, man. When we were saying last year that Mark Andrews isn't the guy that you think he is, a lot of hate. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were saying we're just so negative.
I remember saying they should not have signed him to that deal.
I want you guys, even in wins like tonight, because this was a great win. We should feel good. Just straight up, we just beat them down. I didn't want to hear any excuses from them. We beat them down. Okay, like just chill on trying to come at us, okay? Like Rave Kingdom, I see, and Rave Kingdom, it's lighthearted with Rave Kingdom. That's not, he just gets he's hyped, right? You're hyped in the moment, but don't try to call us out because Derrick Henry had a great game. First of all, we didn't say Derrick Henry sucked. We said he's 30 years old. He's old. He is old. That's a fact. That's not debatable.
My
You're
man was
old in terms of a running back,
he was
right?
burning them on that first play. They said what 21.9 or something like that.
Oh yes.
Jesus.
Oh yes.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to say anything about an NFL defender who just moves out of the way of a Derrick Henry running 22 miles an hour.
Well, I mean, he concussed the other guy. Rap? Yeah, I'm not tackling him. Sorry.
and he wasn't even trying to do that. Like, he was just running and he knocked it clean out.
He did. He did. He went face first to the ground. I was like, oh man.
That looked bad for a second.
I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah.
He concussed the man with his thigh. I'm laughing, but I get it.
Not funny.
I get it.
It's not funny at all.
But Danny says, if you want real Ravens opinions, come back every Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Yes, no sugarcoating or whitewashing over here. Hit the like and subscribe. Not just Ravens, Panthers. B's a Panthers fan. That's why you got the Cam Newton picture in the background of his. Lamar Jackson on my background. We do Ravens, Panthers. We do NBA, WNBA. We do a little combat sports too. We haven't been doing a lot of that recently, but we need to get back in it. Speaking of combat sports, we have another boxing channel, Ring Kings Podcast. Haven't put anything out there in a while either, but we are going to do it. Okay, we're making a lot of promises. We're going to keep them. Okay, we do that podcast with our brother OTR Mike. All right, new episodes will be coming out. There's a lot going on in the boxing world recently, and we got to discuss. Haven't even got a chance to discuss Anthony Joshua getting knocked out, but we're going to discuss that. We're going to discuss Devin Haney suing for getting beat up in a ring. Okay?
Like, it was bad enough when Victor Ortiz was like, I don't deserve to get beat up like this. Mm-hmm. But to actually file suit, to call a lawyer and be like, yo, Ryan Garcia punched me in the face repeatedly on camera. I mean, you know, I need financial restitution.
We're gonna make a video about that. All right, so go over to Ring Kings Podcast and hit that subscribe button over there. All right, we're gonna hang out for a couple minutes more. We gotta go because it's already midnight. I have to get up early. Okay, I thought you were sleeping already.
Start playing Shattered Space.
Oh man, I thought about it. The younger me would have definitely called out of work tomorrow, but now I'm older and I got responsibility. I can't call out to play video games, but I'll definitely be playing that. All right, I'll read a couple more comments here. Killer says, MMA fighter got knocked out by trying to shoot a takedown and he hit his head on a hip bone. Yep, I've seen that happen before. Jeez. You see all kinds of things in UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Let's see. Trip 1 says, last 2 weeks, Shador has grown on me. I liked him before, but his mobility is surprising me right now. Well, his playmaking ability. Yeah, he's doing good. Doing a good job. Doing a real good job. Let's simply repeat says, how are the Chiefs winning games? Man, they're the champs.
And Rashee Rice out for the year now.
Yeah, that's going to hurt them.
I'm going to talk to you about Malik Neighbors off air. We can I can help out your wide receiving core. All right.
I have Malik Neighbors.
I know. I'm going to need him from you, but I can help you out with quantity. All right. Good quality quantity. Good quality quantity. All right.
All right. I'm doing all right. Yeah. Oh man, Amar, did you guys watch?
No, we did not. What? Where did you send it?
What?
He's asking if we got his donation.
Great show, guys. Did y'all get my donation? Yeah. Did you send it through Cash App or did you send it through? Well, it had to be Cash App, right? Otherwise, it'll automatically popped up. We'll get that. We'll get that animation to you in 1 second. Appreciate it, Noah. Did you guys catch any of that Raiders and Browns game?
Unfortunately,
the Browns got screwed. That touchdown pass that touchdown pass to Amari Cooper was crazy. It was crazy. So you know why you didn't see it? They called it back. They called it on a hold where the guy didn't hold. Man, yeah, because I think I was like third or fourth down, and Deshaun Watson, he was getting hit and he threw it, and nobody was guarding Mark Cooper. He came across the field, caught that ball, ran it in. Like it was like an 80-yard touchdown.
I know why it didn't trigger because we're on the dynamic thing. It's not set up on here. But we do have
Oh,
the tip from Noah. I'm sorry, Noah.
do you
But
want to
we did
switch?
get it. It says, Como están, hombres? Hope all is well. 8 plus 22 equals W?
Appreciate it. Do
Okay.
you want to switch to the? You want to
Apparently.
switch to the other scene?
I mean, we about to leave, right? I don't think we need to do it right now.
Well, in case anybody else wants to donate, because we're not going to get the notification on this scene.
Nah, we leaving.
Just click the button.
It's bedtime. Oh, God. All right, hold on.
There we go. Now
All
we'll
right.
get it. Like, people pay money. We gotta give
No,
them what they
I
pay for.
understand. I'm just saying, man. It's saying it's bedtime. All right, that's what I'm saying.
It
I
is
don't,
bedtime. It
I
is.
don't
I got.
understand how important bedtime is.
All right. Appreciate you
Stream
guys. Oh,
Streamlabs
so what?
don't like that this message is in Spanish. Apparently,
Oh, they got a problem with Spanish speakers.
looks like it.
All right, but
Ooh, they
yes,
didn't like the formula. That's what it was.
typically, you'll get an animation on the screen. There you go. Shout out to Noah for the $10 donation. Appreciate you, Noah. All right, that's how it works when we're on our A game. Okay.
Yes. Thank you,
Um,
Noah.
and, and yes, I should have known we were in a dynamic scene because that wasn't up there. Okay, that's how you support the show. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Daniel
Thanks,
Franklin says, I
Danny.
look forward to bedtime all day.
That's
Facts.
right. See, and Joe, I wanted to bring this up earlier. He says, not trolling though, Kyle Van Noy is in the Defensive Player of the Year combo now. He's playing great. He's playing fantastic. I believe he had 2 sacks in the last three games each week. But again, that's a dude who's fresh right now, who is old. And you have to be concerned about whether or not he's going to be playing at that level when you need him in the playoffs. Not saying that he's not, but it's a concern when you have older players like that and whether or not they can keep it up all year long.
Kyle Van Noy has 4 sacks through 4 games.
Well, but they
Aiden,
hadn't. Did
Aiden
he put
Hutchinson
in?
has six and a half sacks.
Well, I thought they said that he had 2 each week.
This says 4. Well, maybe this isn't updated.
Yeah, maybe.
And Aiden Hutchinson hasn't played yet. Look, he's playing good.
Yeah.
And it's early. We don't like to discuss these things this early. I just it's 4 weeks in. Let's get to the halfway point. Okay. Another thing too, a positive thing. I said give this O-line about 6 weeks, right? To about week 6 or so to see how they're looking. They're starting to look a little better. Rosengarten got the start. They looked a lot better on that right side. Why are you even messing around with Patrick McCarry?
But to be fair, again, they've looked better because they don't throw the ball anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The last 2 weeks they haven't thrown the ball. So
they were looking bad running the ball too.
yeah, but it's much easier to turn things around running the ball. Like you're just firing out and you're trying to push. You're big, you're strong, you're trying to push people around, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's much more difficult to consistently pass protect, and they haven't had to do that.
Yeah,
and right now, that may be the formula for them.
yeah.
But again, the question is it a formula that will last?
Yeah, those questions we're not going to be able to come close to answering until we get later on in the season. All we can do right now is take it week by week, and
Y'all are going to beat the hell out of Cincinnati next week.
Oh,
they should. Yeah, well, you know what? That's the thing. They should, right? But Cincinnati's bad, so they probably won't.
But that's the problem because they're not just a bad team. They're a bad team with talent, right? Yeah. And this is a problem that we have. Like other bad teams, other teams in general will have no problem locking in and getting them up out of there. That's the type of game where we'll take a step back and we'll look like what we did against the Raiders, right? Like that's I want to see how many yards Derrick Henry has next week against that team?
I do have one bit of insight for playing. Carolina played Cincinnati today. I got one tip for you for next week. When Jamar Chase catches the ball, do attempt to tackle him.
Tackle him, please.
He, I don't know who Carolina secondary spoke to or where they got this, but he will not, in fact, just go down by himself. He is going to run, and he is going to continue running until he gets into the end zone. So
Also,
don't just try to hug him.
Yeah. Also, don't let him get a running start.
Yes, don't try to hug him. Don't let him get a running start. Ideally, don't let him catch the ball. But if he does catch the ball, make sure you wrap up and then bring him down with you.
Yeah. Hendo, I'm sure Hendo probably fell asleep by now, but Hendo did a live stream yesterday. He wanted to vent about a Bills YouTuber. I don't know who it was, but this guy was talking mad trash, right? And the guy said it. He said, I'm just doing it for this week. After next week, we'll be cool again. That's just kind of his thing. But Hendo didn't like some of the things that he was saying. One of the things that he was saying was the Ravens aren't the Ravens anymore, right? Meaning they're not a team to be feared. Maybe that's true. Like we're not sure what kind of team we are yet because there's a lot of question marks on this team. Okay, but one thing we do know is that the Bills are still the Bills, and they've been that for decades.
I you know what? Maybe it's just me, maybe because I'm old, and I hate to say it, maybe old fashioned. But if my team had made it to 4 straight Super Bowls and couldn't point to a single Lombardi, I would not be able to muster up the strength to talk trash to anybody.
Well, that's the thing; they don't even remember that. Most of these fans now.
That's true.
We remember. Okay, your trophy case is empty.
And like I said, even that is fine because there's several teams that have won, but you made it to 4 straight Super Bowls. You were the best team in the NFL.
By far.
Don't let anybody tell you it was Dallas. Don't let anybody tell you it was the Giants or Washington. No, Buffalo was the best team in the league. You don't go to 4 straight Super Bowls, and you certainly don't get your ass kicked 4 times either.
So, I mean, like I said, they're going to the playoffs. They're going to win the AFC East. They're going to be one of the teams. It's going to come down to us, Buffalo, and the Chiefs. Those are the 3. Who else in the AFC is going to contend with this?
You're not waiting on Tua's comeback. You gonna
he better
laugh
not
at the
come
dude?
back.
You gonna laugh at the dude? Man, that's rough.
I
couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
He better not come back. He better take the rest of that year off.
Nah, he coming back.
He better not.
He coming back. You know why? You know why he's coming back, and he should, because they're gonna clear him to come back. And once they clear him to come back, he's coming back for that money.
He needs to go see a neurologist and get a second opinion and sit out. What was it? Was it hockey? What player was it that he got a concussion and he was out for a long
Sidney
time?
Crosby.
Yeah,
I think that's what you're talking about, and it wasn't a concussion. Like they thought. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they thought he kept on getting concussions, right? And like they thought he was going to have to retire. Like they're like, I mean, it's bad. Like every time he gets out there, he's getting a concussion. He's sitting out. But then he went and, obviously he went to a bunch of different doctors, and I forget what it was, but it wasn't concussions. Once they figured out what it was, never had another problem.
But aren't their protocols a little? They're a little bit more vigorous.
I don't know. I'm not going to co-sign that one. I've seen like they just let them fight in hockey, so I don't think they probably still call it getting your bell rung over there. I don't know.
That's a good point. I'll retract that then.
Like I don't know. Hockey is rough, man. Like I would not like who how are you gonna play a game with blades strapped to your feet?
I know.
Dude got killed earlier this year.
Yeah.
Because somebody decided he was going to go and hit him with a high kick.
That's crazy. I seen a dude lose his eye. That was insane.
And listen. When somebody bleeds in hockey, you know it. because it's ice. That ice is very white, and the red does not blend in.
And
All
it's
right,
ice, so it sticks.
right. It's I don't know. I don't know why we talk about this. All right, it's bedtime.
That's a way to
It's
end
time
the
to go.
show.
Don't let your kids play hockey.
Don't let your kids play hockey, yo. All right. Look, still 84 people in here. Get our likes up. Get our subscribers up. We just crossed 2,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Now get us to 3,000. All right. Hashtag road to 3,000. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHTShow. All of our old episodes of our Overtime Show are there. We do Overtime Show after our main show on Wednesday night, 7:15 p.m. Hang out after that show. And look, whatever you guys want to talk about, we'll talk about on the Overtime Show. But we talk about everything. Okay, it's a lot of fun. What are you laughing at, B?
I'm laughing at Jay, and I knew Jay was going to post this. Reminds me of the movie Blades of Glory. And if you
That was a
don't
hilarious
know,
movie.
if you don't know what he's talking about, in Blades of Glory, it's a figure skating movie. Will Ferrell and Napoleon Dynamite, because I can't, John Heder.
Yeah.
They're figure skaters. They get kicked out of figure skating, and they come back. They find a loophole. They're going to be a men's team, a couple,
Yeah.
and they do this one move that's banned in figure skating because the last time it was seen in competition, the person gets flipped up in the air. They do like a spinning kick, and they caught their partner in the neck and chopped their head off. That's what Jay is referring to. And I don't know why Jay is always like this. You don't have to be like this, Jay.
Funny movie though.
It's pretty funny.
It's pretty funny. Yeah. All right, y'all. We're out of here. We'll hit him with the credits. B, you ready?
No. Yes, I am now.
All right, subscribe. Check us out on Wednesday. We're going to talk about the upcoming games next week. Okay, we face the Bengals. B, who are the Panthers playing?
Next week the Panthers. I'm not sure. I didn't look. Let me see.
Okay.
Whatever. All right. Like it was. I'm
also,
I'm intoxicated by the red rifle right now. It doesn't even matter who we're playing.
So I'm plug one more time. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Also our website, LBHTShow.com. Check it out. LBHTShow.com. Sign up for our newsletter. Okay. When that box pops up, ask you for your email address. It's safe. All right. We got a newsletter that we're working on. It's coming out real soon. You want to be a part of that. Sign up for it.
They got the Chicago Bears. The new look Chicago Bears with Caleb Williams, DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, DeAndre Swift. Also, by the way, Justin Fields should have been a Panther. He was looking very good in Pittsburgh.
That's going to be an interesting game. I think the Panthers can win that game. They can win that game. So
they can win the game for sure, but it's just a sad game because the Bears, I think, have a better quarterback than Carolina drafted. Pittsburgh definitely has a better quarterback than Carolina drafted. The Panthers QB room had a better quarterback than Carolina drafted, and I don't want reminders of that.
All right, we are out of here. B is ready to go. Y'all have a great night. Okay, enjoy the Monday night games. Is it 2 games tomorrow?
Yes.
Enjoy the 2 games tomorrow. Come back here on Wednesday. We'll see you then. Peace.